would you like to tell us anything about your university? Anything you want to tell us about?
Actually, Rayat Bara Group was set up in 2001. It's a 19-year-old group where they are having institutions all over North India. And then, of course, there was some partition amongst the partners. And now presently Rayat Bara University group has two universities and 7 institutions which are being run by it.
Okay.
And the university came into being in 2016 with an act of the Punjab government, that in Punjab Assembly, under Private Universities Act, the university was established.
Okay.
And since then it is working with around 7,000 students, and we are running about 150 courses.
Okay.
So we are catering to the students from all over India. There are hostels both for boys and girls, and even about 30 foreign university students are presently studying in the university.
Okay.
Yeah, we are trying to maintain the quality and excellence. Infrastructure-wise, it is one of the top universities in North India. Faculty-wise, again, it is one of the top universities in North India. And the discipline of students is worth quoting.
Okay.
Employees are dedicated, teachers are dedicated. So this is basically a university with negligible drawbacks.
Okay, sir. So, sir, like I would like to ask you that you have held key positions at Education Institute throughout your professional career. So, what are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
You see, right since I did my post-graduation in 1975, I joined as lecturer when my result was yet to be declared. And I found in this profession, there is a lot of respect. One has to work hard, you see, and one has to come down to the level of the students in the beginning, and by and by give them the dose of advanced studies, give them exposure of advanced material, research, publications, patent, intellectual right, property rights. If we come to that level, then anybody and everybody will like to be in this profession. In this profession, not that you have made investment once and then you sit silently. Every day you have to work. Every day you have to prepare yourself and keep abreast with the latest knowledge and technology. Otherwise, survival is not that easy. So those teachers who keep themselves updated, they keep pace with the international knowledge, they are really serving the countries, serving the society, serving the people of the country. So, fortunately, When I shifted from Batala, Bering Union Christian College, there I was lecturer to ST College, Chandigarh. And for 17 years here too, I was a lecturer, senior lecturer, associate professor. And then in 1995, I became professor and principal of the university. And of course, the general secretary of the governing body. So this made me to take decision. This made me to bring out a small college to one of the biggest colleges of India. You see, courses we started with 3 when I was principal. But when I finished after 17 years, I was yet to retire when I took leave and joined as Pro Vice Chancellor at APJ Satya University. Gurgaon APJ is one of the biggest groups. So at ST College, I start with 50 lakhs rupees budget. Out of that, 40 lakhs used to come from the government as grant for salary. But after 17 years, the college had a budget of 50 crores.
Okay.
And running 64 courses, most of them were innovative, professional, job-oriented, and you name any big corporate house which has not visited SD College Chandigarh, and there used to be 100% placement of the students. I am not saying it for the sake of saying. This is on record. The big industrial houses used to come there for recruitment, and we had innovative programs like bioinformatics. We were the first college in India to start their course. Then of course, so many other innovative programs of the universities. After serving here, when I found I have played my role and I had still 1.5 years for my retirement, I took leave and joined APJ Satya University, Gurgaon. Why I joined that university? That was the first university in India which had liberal arts. It was a meta university on the pattern of Stanford, Harvard, Michigan, all top universities of USA, and of course Oxford and Cambridge, and other top universities of the world. And liberal art concept, you see, that means you produce personalities with versatile character. Okay, I joined as mechanical engineer. I don't like to become mechanical engineer. After 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, I can shift to, if I want to go to computer science and engineering. I can shift to fine arts. I can shift to mass communication journalism. I can shift to design or structural design. That flexibility is there. And after there was a credit system which is still not that much prevalent in India, barring a few institutions. Rajbara too has credit system, grade system. The objective was in 3 years, if you take up a engineering course for degree, in 4 years you could do 2 courses because common credits are taken as common and you specialize in 1 or 1.5 year. You can be eligible or you can qualify another degree maybe engineering in civil or engineering in mechanical. That facility is there. Then you are not only studying the subjects of your degree, you have other options. Even in Rajatmara, we have university elective options and general elective options. So that when a student, after doing his degree or post degree, goes to the market to join profession or business or job, he should have knowledge of all interrelated and allied areas.
Okay.
This is the objective. This is the objective behind. And that objective is being met by very few few universities. And I am happy to join here as this practice is available here too.
So, sir, like, what is the style of leadership that you follow? What is the philosophy of your leadership?
You see, you may talk of any type of leadership. There is no single leadership which is successful. It is actually a blend. There should be participation. There should be leading from the front. Proactive approach of the leader. Initiative. Enterprise. Nobody should take the leader for granted. But leader should be accessible to all. Without telling, leader should be in a position to understand the needs of the other side. If there are unions, if there are associations, good management, good leadership is that which solves the problem before coming to them. And working at a helm of affairs, one must know the problems which we will come across. I tell you, in my 46 years span in education, God bless SSD College, 34 years, 2 years at Waring College, and 4 years Rajatmara University. No, APJ. 4 years at Director General in ITFT. I have hardly found any student going for strike, any teacher going for strike. Reason is, any problem, whenever and wherever we found, we plugged it. And that thing is being done at Rajatmara institution too. Now, due to COVID, many problems have occurred. There are financial crises in the complete education system. Students are not coming forth, and expenditures have not been shortened, have not been rationalized downward. Some problems are there, I think, when we enter into next year, things will be solved and again we will come back to our actual position.
Sir, I would like to ask that that the education system of India and foreign countries is different. And I would like to ask that what can an inbound student can gain from studying in your college or university? What can an inbound student gain from that?
You see, the biggest advantage studying at Rajatmara University is that we give special treatment to every individual. We ensure that each and every one understand what is being taught, what is being delivered, and we take feedback. In foreign university too, we have snap test. Here we have snap test. We have presentations. We have on-the-job training. You see, every student doing graduation here has to go for 6 months practical training in the industry or in the corporate sector, so that when student after passing the degree program goes to the market, he does not face any problem there of doing job, because otherwise, you know, the education system of ours has been that you study academics and when you go to market, you have no relevance. So we are ensuring that theoretical and practical relevance is harmonized. We become the rhythm of the system, and that is the specialty of this university. And then, of course, looking after every student and solving with problems with single window. You see, why problems arise when we go on accumulating them. So we are trying that students are fully satisfied. When they go back, they give good feedback to the other students, because we consider that students are the ambassadors of the university. If they are happy, only then university will have good name.
Yes.
Otherwise, you may spend crores of rupees on advertisement, on publicity, on marketing, will not bear fruit. But if you deliver good education, because mouth to mouth, face to face campaign will always bear the best fruits. That is the objective of our university.
So, sir, could you give us any insights about how your university is more welcoming to the student of different economic background and races?
You see, first of all, we have large number of scholarships. Depending upon the economic conditions of the university or of the student, we give them fee concession, scholarship, and then fortunately there are scholarships for SC/ST students also.
Okay.
Those students, and in some states even backward classes. But those who are economically weaker do not belong to the specific category, we provide them. We provide them facilities equal to those such students, where government is coming forward to provide facility. We have about 10,000 textbooks, you see, which we are giving to students as a book bank.
Okay.
So we gave a set of the books to all poor students, to all needy students, to all meritorious students as well.
And sir, like, what is the top priority of the college or university in the coming next 10 years? What is its topmost priority?
You see, right from the beginning, everybody knows survival of the fittest, quality and excellence. These are the two words whichsoever university will achieve these two will be at the top. They are successful today, they will be successful after 5 years, they will be successful after 10 years. So excellence we have to maintain, and it is a continuous flow. It's a dynamic flow. And then, of course, to do something innovative. Because universities are now, if we compare colleges with the universities, it is a research, you see. If the universities are not doing research, then universities are not doing anything. Publication should be there, good research work, innovative, that should be published. Not only that, After work research, there should be patents, genuine patents. If you are in pharmacy, you should produce medicine. No COVID problem, we are still waiting for the vaccine.
Yes, sir.
The whole world is working for it. That means there are certain issues before universities, the scientific institutes, because all these things they should predict and make vaccine, make medicines. Not that they can't do it. It has not happened today. It is the infection. Infection is happening everywhere and every season. Whenever there is a change in season, such problems come with a new form. So that means our scientists have to keep pace with the timeline.
Yes.
And that is possible if the universities spend money on research. It should not be only academic, it should be practical, experimental oriented research, which is useful.
So, sir, what do you like? What are the greatest strength of your university? What is the greatest strength?
Number one, our infrastructure is excellent, no compromise. Whether it is interior or exterior, very spacious, sprawling lawns are there. Then sports facilities of all kinds are available there. And in academics, whatever is the requirement at international level, those facilities have been provided over there. So we have the best faculty. They are not only highly qualified, they are the best teachers, they are the best researchers, and they work hard. They start with the students from the beginning and then end up with the advanced knowledge.
And sir,
That means they have a track.
And sir, how does the curriculum of your university ensure the best practice of industry?
You see, in our all board of studies which prepare the syllabi, which prepare the programs are initiated by them. They have 3 to 4 industrialists and not less than 2 from the corporate, depending upon whether the course is for the corporate world or it is for the industry. The expert people are invited while preparing the syllabi, and it takes 1.5 months or sometimes 2 months to prepare a syllabi for a particular class. And their industrialists, corporate houses, and experts from other universities play important role. Of course, our own faculty, which is our real strength, they take the initiative and to see that we compete with any university outside their own.
Okay. So, sir, do you like to give any suggestion to the current youth and the aspiring students? Any suggestions?
There is no shortcut to hard work and dedication. No shortcut to initiative and innovation. No shortcut to excellence. We have to put in our best, you see, to achieve consistent and persistent hard work. And then result-oriented study. Whether you study theoretical or you do practical, it must be result-oriented. And your result should be not only the best but different. No plagiarism, no copying, which is being done everywhere.
Yes, sir.
So that we have to think over a problem, have some solution in your mind, practice it, and see what are the real results. If those coincide with your original thinking, that means you have made research. But if we copy down what others have done, killing fly over fly, that will not lead us anywhere in the world.
Yes, sir. So, sir, like, how do you tend to establish a healthy relationship and environment in your university?
You see, who are the stakeholders? Employees, teachers, HODs, deans, parents, students, and general public. Whenever anybody comes to you, like our Air India motto is, go ahead and ask, what can I do for you? Give a solution to students, parents, teachers, employees, and general public. Let them carry impression. I went over there, they greeted me, they solved my problem there and then, and I had not to waste time, I had not to wait. Generally, people put board meet from 11 to 1 or 2 to 3. It is rubbish. In education, any student, any teacher, any public man should be greeted with folded hands.
Yes, sir. That's. So, sir, I would like to end the interview here, and thanks a lot for sharing such good views. And I hope that this initiative of ours will help to bridge the gap between the students and the institutes, colleges, or universities. And I thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much, Jayan. Thank you very much, Angad. There are many more things which can be covered by us. You can have 5-6 sessions during the year. I'll try to